Hello everyone, this is Dina. Welcome to my channel. Today is May 22nd, and for me, Mania is over, but I have something very special to show you today. In the last week, my husband went to Warner Robins, Georgia, where we used to live, and was busy working in the yard and maintaining flower beds and things like that of the house that we have for sale. Well, he was there for several days, and on one of those days, he looked around for something to entertain himself in the evening for a few hours. And on his way to an air show there at the Warner Robins Air Force Base, he stopped by an estate sale, and he sent me a picture of something. And he said, "Are you interested in this at all? It's not very expensive, but it really looks like something you would enjoy." And I looked at the picture and I said, "Yes, very much. I would like that." So when he got home, he had me a little gift. It was a set of pictures that he had purchased at the estate sale. And they're cross stitch, and they're very well done. And I thought, oh, these are so cute. And then when I got them home where I could actually see them, I was so tickled to see what he got me. This is one. This is the man. I have the lady as well. This is on silk gauze. I hope I can get it close enough to the camera where you can see it. This is cross-stitched on silk gauze, and I know I've seen stitchers work on silk gauze before. I know Stitch and Mommy has done some silk gauze and some others, but isn't this precious? I just thought, what a great picture. It's well done. It's framed, and I think the person did it theirself. And the reason I think they did it theirself is it looks like a homemade job. This looks like a piece of cardboard, a self-stick hanger, their own little, tab they've made out of a piece of paper or cut in a circle. They did it themselves. So this was a very crafty individual. Here's the guy. And here's the lady. Let's see if I can get away from that glare. Oh, there we go. So, isn't that amazing? She is so cute. I'll see if I can move her where you can see the design itself. It's reflecting really bad on the glass. I didn't notice that on the guy. But very nicely done. Very cute. So here they are. They're a set. Don't you think they go together? So I'm going to be putting these in my craft room, probably right up there on my picture rail. And I just wanted to share them with you. I complimented my husband on this one because he had a sharp eye. These were very, very cute. I like the subject matter, and they're so well done. And it's the first thing I have on silk gauze. So I'm just delighted to be able to have these to put in my craft room. And I just wanted to share them with you. All right. So now, what have I been doing since Mania? For me, Mania was over on the 18th. I finished working on my last whip on the 18th. I worked on putting my second half of my Mania video up on the 19th. And then I've been looking at what do I want to do next, because I've touched every whip this month. I have total freedom to do whatever I like. So I will let you in on my plan. My plan is to look through my whips to see which ones are the closest to being finished and put more work on those. So the first one I'm working on is Into the Autumn Sky. I think it's one of the closest to being finished. And when I finished it for Mania, I think you'll recall, I had her jacket done and the swing ropes up, and I had captured a few of the leaves in the corner. And I had mentioned that my goal was going to be, the next time I picked it up, to work on the scarf, on the scarf around her neck. So I'll show you where I'm at now. I have a scarf and a head. I'm so tickled. She's not headless anymore. I have her head here and all her beautiful hair. I have not done the back stitching on the scarf yet, and I haven't back stitched on the face yet. but I have completed the cross stitch on both the scarf and the head and hair. So all of this is now finished. That means the only thing left on this person herself are the little looks like a bow of ribbon in her hair that goes flying out behind her. And then I'll be ready to go back to the bottom where her skirt is. And there are little ribbons, and actually they're done with cross stitching and beads that are kind of flowing underneath her as she swings. And I can go ahead and get that and then move back up to that top and do the leaves across the top to finish her. So I'm working on her because she's getting closer to a finish. I don't know what other whips I will pull out this month and get extra work on them. Probably, if I have time, I may put a little more work into Sleeping Beauty because, you know, she's one of my pieces that I am getting closer to a finish on. And then I have one other thing I want to share with you. One of the things that Mania did for me this year was show me how much I enjoy working on most of my projects. There's one that I'm not enjoying. And I've heard us talk about this in Floss 2 many, many times, that you shouldn't stitch on something that you don't enjoy. And so I am giving serious thought to declaring my nativity as a UFO and putting it away for a while. Maybe not getting rid of it, maybe not giving up on it forever, but I may take it out of my active whips because I just don't enjoy stitching it. I think it's the fabric. I think it is a too small of a count for the pattern because I just feel like a lot of the beauty of the blended threads and these beautiful quarter and half stitches are lost on this little fabric. It's just too small a count for me. So I'm going to think about it. And if I decide to retire it, I can retire it for a little while. And then if I feel bad about it, I can bring it back and that'll be fine. But I do think I'm going to declare it out of my active whips. And then that will be one less whip I have in my working basket. And once I finish one, then I'll be ready for my new start on my Sheep Virtues. So it's hard for me to give up on one. I've only had one thing I've ever tried to stitch before that I have not finished. And that's my Chatelaine. And I realized that I needed to do some work on reading the instructions and putting them, making a copy of them and putting them in the order in which I'm going to stitch it so that I can find all the instructions. Because I misread or missed one of the instructions on the beginning of it. And I did a lot of extra work on stitching petit point when I didn't need to do but half stitches. And I just think that sort of threw me. It was like, I can't make semblance of these instructions. So I'm going to wait on that one because it was just too much for me at the time, having other projects to do. I didn't have time to do that. And so I may be looking at bringing that back in the next year to work on some more. So, you know, I didn't throw it away and I didn't say I'm not going to do it. I just said I'm not going to do it right now. And I gave myself permission to move on and do other things. And I was quite happy about it. And I feel like I need to do the same thing with Nativity. It's a beautiful piece, but it's just not stitching up the way I like on this fabric. And I thought I would just power through and get it done. But there's so much left to do. And I just have to make myself work on it. And as you all know, when you do that too often or too long, it just makes you not want to stitch at all. And then you're at risk of running your urge to stitch into the background. And I don't want that to happen. So I'm still thinking about it. Probably will do it, but I'll let you know for sure the next time I, think about it and talk with you about it. So for now, I'm working on Into the Autumn Sky, and I'm going to be making room for these on my picture rail. If any of you know the names of these patterns or if they came together, if any of you have this in your stash and could tell me just the name of the pattern and the designer, I would just be thrilled to know who did this. I don't even know where to begin to look. So if you have it, please let me know. In the meantime, you guys have a great time stitching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of May. Some of you are still doing Mania to the end of the month, and so I wish you well in that. Hope you're staying focused. I hope you still have energy and desire to do it. It is manic and it can wear you out. I was a bit fatigued after just trying to stitch so much on each of my pieces. I can't imagine having to stop and calculate how to start, where to start, all the extras you do to get a project going. I think that would have been very difficult. So my hat is off to all of you that are doing that. I will talk to you in a few days, show you the work as it progresses on Into the Autumn Sky, or Touching the Autumn Sky. All this time I've been calling it Into the Autumn Sky, and I think the actual name is Touching the Autumn Sky, so I apologize for that. Anyway, we'll talk to you soon. Enjoy your stitching. Bye. Hi everyone. Today is Friday, May 25th, and this is Dina. And I have a big surprise. I have a finish. My Mania was very successful in helping me move some pieces along toward a finish, especially one in particular. And I was a little surprised because I wasn't even thinking that I was going to get to finish it next. But when I got to looking at the progress I had made with Mania, and then looked at what was left to finish the piece, it was the one closest to a finish. So I decided as soon as Mania was over, I would just keep working on it and see if I couldn't eke out a finish by the end of May. And I am happy to report that I have. So I won't keep you in suspense any longer. Touching the Autumn Sky, Mirabilia, out of print pattern. Fun piece to do. If you're going to ever do a Mirabilia, you just want to try one to see if you like. Unfortunately, this one's out of print because it is one of the easiest ones to get started with. The color palette is lovely. It's just vibrant and beautiful. But the nice part about it is there are only a few blends, no fractional stitches, and only one color of bead. It's pretty good, and very little back stitching. So I'll show you my finish. Here she is, touching the autumn sky. Now, I'm going to turn the camera around and take a little bit more about her. All right, here she is, close up and personal. This is a delightful piece. This sweet girl, love her facial expression. She's just got her face turned up toward that autumn sky, absorbing the sunlight, enjoying her swinging. Her hair is all flying out behind her, her scarf is flying out behind her, and so is her dress. And she's even got lovely little streamers, probably from the ties in the back of her dress, and just wonderful abandon. Just no worries, no cares, just a beautiful, sweet piece, showing someone enjoying this beautiful season. So let me tell you just a little bit about it. As you can see, there's very little back stitching. There's a little straight stitch here, a little bit here on the trim and on the sleeve and on the jacket. Then if you look at the scarf up close, you might be able to see there are back stitches in here that are giving it more of a little plaid appearance, but not overly heavy on the back stitching. And then of course her hands and face are back stitched. And that's about it. Now, as you can see, there are beads, but as I mentioned, there's only one color, this yellow, and it's part of her dress, and then it looks like it's part of the swirls from where she's been swinging her feet, And then, of course, the swirls from the leaves falling, illustrated both by the little back stitching there and the beads, I think, to show movement. Precious piece. Really, really enjoyed this one. And just so delighted to have finished it so quickly when I wasn't expecting it. Well, the song Isn't She Lovely comes to mind. Oh, I am just really tickled to have this finish. And in case you weren't watching my channel at the time that I started this piece back in September of 2017, this pattern is out of print, but was gifted to me by Brenda Holzman. And when she gifted it to me, the one requirement that she asked of me was that when I finished stitching it, that I gift it to someone else and keep the pattern moving along so that more and more people that want to can stitch it. So that's what we're going to do now. I'm going to pass this stash and honor my commitment to Brenda as a thank you for letting me stitch this pattern. And so here's how we're going to do it. If you want to be included for this, there are a few things I'm going to ask of you. One, be a subscriber. I think that's pretty common, and be over 18 or get your parents' permission. Second, please don't ask for the pattern if you're not wanting to stitch it, because that's why I want to pass it to you, so you can stitch it. I don't want to pass it to anyone that's going to then turn around and try to sell it and make money off of it. I want it to actually go to somebody who wants to stitch it. And last but not least, you have to promise that when you finish it, you'll do the same thing. You can either give it away if you have a channel or a way to give it to someone, or if you prefer, you can send it back to me when you're finished with it, and I will give it away again in your honor, and let everybody know that it's from you. Either way is fine. I'm just going to ask that you make the promise that I made, that you'll share it and let someone else stitch it. So, in order to be included in the selection for the person who will get to stitch Touching the Autumn Sky, just write below in your comment that you very much would want to stitch Touching the Autumn Sky. That's all. Just let me know you're interested in stitching it, and I'll put your name in the list. And then we'll do a random number generator, and we'll have a winner. Now, I am going to let it take a little time, because if you're like me, you've been watching everyone's Mania updates, and a lot of them are doing daily blogs, and so you got quite a few videos to watch. So it may be a little while before you roll back around and grab this one. I hope you do soon, but I'm going to give it a little bit of time, and I'm going to draw the winner on the 29th of June. That's a Friday, and I believe it is anyway. I'll make sure, but I believe it is. So I'm going to be out of town. Yes, it is a Friday. And I'm going to be out of town a little bit before that, and so it may take me a day or two to catch up on all the comments, and get them on a list. So you've got plenty of time to see the video and respond that you're interested in stitching Touching the Autumn Sky. So I hope if you're interested that you'll give it a try. I can't wait to see who gets the opportunity to stitch it next, and I hope that if you're doing FlossTube that you'll let us share the journey with you, and if not, if you're on Instagram, please post your progress and let us enjoy it there. But just write below that you're interested in stitching Touching the Autumn Sky, and I'll include you in the list when I do the drawing to see who the lucky winner will be. And I think it goes pretty much without saying now, please don't mention giveaway or winning the pattern, something that the trolls might pick up on. I really do want this to go to a stitcher. So good luck to everyone who's interested, and I hope you'll put your comment below. We'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Hi, it is Saturday, May 26th, and thank you so much for visiting with me today. This is Dina, and I am here for a quick update. I had a gift, some kindness by a fellow stitcher, and I just wanted to thank her publicly. I got permission to do so. But Wendy Davis contacted me recently and wanted my email. Said she had something she wanted to send me, and I'm thinking it's a link to a retreat or, some information she thought would be interesting for me. And within a very short period of time, I got an email from 123 Stitch where Wendy had provided me a gift card. And so I went immediately to 123 Stitch because I haven't shopped a lot lately, especially during Mania. I didn't have time to do any shopping. But I went in there and I looked in my wish list, and I had purchased fabric a while back for my Quaker Christmas, and it was one that Cowgirl Kate had recommended, and it's Sandcastle, and I just love it because it has a beautiful neutral with a little tiny bit of a wine color modeling in it that just gives it a tiny hint that it might have a little red in it. I don't know if you'll see it. Oh, they're showing up very well. Anyway, this is it. And I've had a lot of comments on the fabric when you're watching my Quaker Christmas. And this is what I'm stitching it on, Sandcastle. This is 32 count, and it is a Jobelyn. So I really enjoy stitching on it. And I thought you might want to just see. But how kind. Wendy, thank you again so much for thinking of me. That was just a precious gift, and now I have this in my stash to start another project with down the road, and I won't have to buy the fabric, which is, y'all know, is usually the biggest expense when you start something new. So Wendy, thanks for being such a wonderful friend and example to all of us of what this community is like. It's very giving and supportive, and I just thank you so very much. Well, Mania's over. And you've just seen in the last clip what I did after Mania, which was a finish, which is hanging up behind me there. I've ironed it and I'm hanging it there, hopefully trying to keep it from wrinkling so badly. I want to take it with me and shop for a frame. I'm going to try my hand at framing it myself. And Teresa, I'm going to have to get back and watch your framing video again and find out how to order the little spacer stuff for the beads. So I'll be doing that later this afternoon. So then I decided that with the few days I have left, because of Mania, I missed starting my Little House Needleworks piece that I've been doing for the serial sales, the series sales. And I didn't get to start one the first week because I was in the middle of Mania. So I decided this weekend is an LHN Whip It weekend, or Whip It Friday. And so what I did was start this Little House Needleworks Firehouse to be my next piece that I want to do for that series, for the Hometown Holiday series. And I did get a start on it last night, just a bit of a start. So this is what I got done last night. And I'm just working away on it. So I'll be working on this probably till the end of the month, or till I finish it, whichever comes first. And that will conclude my May. So I think that's a wonderful month. If I look back and I see what a successful Mania I had, I did touch every one of my whips. I made good progress on most of them. So much so that touching the autumn sky became a finish. Something I hadn't anticipated at all. Until I got so far on it in Mania that I thought I could finish this by the end of the month, and I did. And then I decided to go back and pick up something I missed at the beginning of the month so that by the end of the month, I won't have missed anything in my series. So, great month. It has been a wonderful month of May. Now, June may be a little different, but we'll see. I'm traveling a bit in June, so I won't have as lofty a goal in June to finish anything or to make huge progress on something. But I will get some stitching in, you know I will, and I'll share it with you. So I hope to have one more clip. I hope to show you a finish on the Little House Needleworks Firehouse in a few days. And then I will wrap her up for this month. But I hope you guys have enjoyed your month of May as much as I have. Happy stitching, everyone. Bye. Hey everyone, it is May 29th and my name is Dina. Welcome back to my channel. I hope that all of you who are returning, that you're having a great time stitching. I hope those of you who participated in Mania had a great Mania. I did, and I thank you for going on that journey with me. And for some of my new subscribers, welcome. I noticed I had a few. Somebody must have mentioned me. I'll have to find out who it was. Give them a thank you. I'm here today to give you an update. I mentioned earlier in this video that I had a new start, or I was going to be working on my Little House Needleworks series, and the next one in my series is this one. It's the Firehouse. I love it. It has 3 bay doors, has the little dog that looks like a little Dalmatian, even the fire hydrant next door, which is so cute. Just lovely. Really like this one. One of our dear friends is a retired fireman, and he was a captain in the fire department where we used to live, and went through high school as a friend of my husband's, and we actually introduced him to his wife and mother of his 3 children. And it's been great fun to watch their family grow through the years. So this one had a special meaning for me, and I was able to finish it. I'm really tickled about that. So here's my Little House Needleworks Firehouse. I didn't make any changes. I stitched it exactly as it was called for. But this one took longer. I think maybe the firehouse is tall. It's a tall building. It's not, probably the other buildings will maybe come to right here. It has more of a taller look to it. I know one of the firehouses that our friend was in for many years had a tower in the middle of the firehouse, and that tower was where they actually used to dry the hoses. So it was an older firehouse. It was great fun. It had the pole, in it that you came down. So we enjoyed taking our little boy there, our son who's now a grown man. But when he was little, we took him there so he could tour that little firehouse. So now I've finished this, so that's another one for my series. I do have enough fabric cut for the remaining ones that I'm going to do, and I think there's about 6 or 7 of them that I have picked out to complete my series. And my plans are to do at least one a month, but since I really wanted to sit them out at Christmas, at some point I'm going to have to put a push on it and do a couple a month in order to have them all finished by the end of the year. But at least I didn't let the month of May get by without getting one of them done. So that was a real accomplishment for me. So that brings us to, it's the 29th of May. I have a couple of days left in the month, and one of my other goals, other than trying to get this Little House needlework piece done for my collection, is to go back and touch Sleeping Beauty once more this month so that I will have worked on her twice. So I will pick her up either tonight or in the morning whenever I get a chance to stitch. I'm going to be going shopping here soon with my husband, and so I'm not sure exactly how soon I'll be able to get back at this stitching. And but in the meantime, I hope you all are having a fabulous day of stitching, and I hope to talk to you very soon. Happy stitching, everyone. Bye.